So let's say you're getting ready to give a speech, and you think you're talking about the next quarter results or a new product launch or something your team needs to do, perhaps. Let me give you another idea. What you're doing, if you do it right, is you're telling one of the great stories of our civilization. There are only 5 of them, and you ought to figure out when you get ready to give a speech which one you're telling. So the first one's the quest. Now, quests are very cool. That's the most useful one. That's the one you're going to use the most often, because on a quest, everybody gets to be the hero, right? You start out, something terrible happens, and off you go down the quest. Maybe you find a mentor along the way, but every problem you run into is an obstacle to be overcome in order to get you to that pot of gold or that holy grail at the end of the quest. And so if you want to enlist your team or an audience in something really spectacular, get them going on a quest, because we all understand them. We've watched a million Hollywood movies about quests, and we get it right away. We're into the quest. The second story is A Stranger in a Strange Land. Now, this is a great story for telling when you're introducing a new product or a situation where the rules have changed and people have to change and get smart and learn the new rules in order to survive. So maybe a competitor has come into your workplace, or maybe the market has changed. Somebody has come along and stolen a lot of market share from you. So then you're in a stranger in a strange land situation. You've landed on a planet where instead of humans being in charge, there are apes in charge, say. And you've got to learn what the rules are. How do you survive in that situation? And the goal there is not to get to some endpoint, but to get mastery, to get smart about understanding what the rules are and surviving in the new world, in the terrain. The third story, the third basic story of our civilization, is a love story. Love stories are very cool, and you're probably thinking, how do I use those in business? Every merger, every joint partnership has the potential to be a love story. It can also be a love story gone wrong. It can end up in divorce, right? So try to make it a good one. The fourth one is rags to riches. Rags to riches is very cool for small companies that are starting up, for entrepreneurs, for obvious reasons. Everybody knows the rags to riches story, right? It's you start out poor, you end up rich. It's the good news, it's the American dream. And the final story is revenge. Now, revenge stories are very powerful. We love them, although they make us a little uncomfortable. So how do you tell a revenge story? Pick some enemy. Pick some giant software firm if you're a small software firm. Pick some new market entrant that's threatening to take your market share away. And tell a revenge story about how you're going to get back at that rival. And then you'll have a story that will enlist your audience powerfully right away. Use any one of these 5 stories, and you'll have your audience on your side right away, because these stories are baked deep in our psyches.